Hey, yo, welcome back to another episode of Veach season. You thought they might have canceled us and kicked our asses off the air, but we ain't done yet. You can't take us out that easy. We're like effing black mold, bed bugs, cockroach, whatever you want. Like, it's going to take a nuclear holocaust to get us off the air. Yeah, we are your guest hosts of Veach season, Rocky Magaña and Kramer Sansone, filling in for Brett Veach. Because a little birdie told me that he's busy on the telephone tonight calling up every single free agent left tackle that's possibly on the market, including some guys who actually never played left tackle. Basically, every human being in the United States of America who's 6'6" or taller and weighs 320 pounds, he's just like, hey, can you just stand there and take up space without moving out of the way? Because that's kind of the bar that's being set at the moment over here in Chiefs Kingdom. As always, I am your guest host, Rocky Magaña, joined by my beautiful and stunning, dashing friend, Kramer Sansone, who I have missed the hell out of. We missed an episode because Kramer was feeling under the weather
very badly
with Raideritis. Like we beat the shit out of the Raiders, and all of a sudden Kramer's too sick to come on the air.
Yep, I was.
He's either over there nursing a hangover, or he's over there, just I don't know. I don't want to say that you're not tough enough to take the heat of the Raiders.
I was not battling the Chiefs flu or anything like that. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I had, but my goodness, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you back. And then, of course, last week was a Monday night game, so we weren't able to record.
Monday night screw everything up. Monday night football, at least.
I mean, it was a hell of a game.
It was. When aren't these games fun and the hell of the games here?
I tell you what, man, these cardiac kids over here are fun to watch. I love this version of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Can we just take a minute and just talk about how lucky?
No, we can't, because there's no luck involved in it.
Okay, all right.
There's no. You want to do this now? We want to do this right now.
Honestly, I think we should, because I honestly
want to talk about Chiefs football before we're 3 minutes into the show. What will people think of us?
I just cannot believe me sitting there watching the game yesterday. I'm just going to go straight to it. I'm watching the game, have Xbox headphones on, watching the game with my buddies, and we're like, that literally just happened. Like, are you kidding me? Like, how many other ways can the Kansas City Chiefs find a way to win a football game? And we witnessed it, a blocked field goal attempt then. Like, it's wild, Rocky.
To quote a great former NFL head coach, they are who we thought they were. You want to crown them, then crown their asses. But they are who we thought they were. Uh-huh. They are the back-to-back defending NFL Super Bowl champions. Championship teams make championship plays in championship moments. There's a reason why Michael Jordan and the Bulls three-peated in 1993, and Charles Barkley never won a damn title his entire career. Good players make good regular season plays. Great players make the play that has to be made when it has to be made. In the moment, it has to be done. In the words of Eric Bieniemy, God rest his soul, I hope he comes back to Chiefs Kingdom someday. You have to find a way to drag your ass across the finish line no matter how hard it hurts. It doesn't matter the pain. You have to choose in life and in football. Everything is hard. Life is hard. Football is hard. Okay. Everything hurts every single moment of the game. So choose your pain. Are you choosing the pain of the moment, that how much it hurts that you have to push through to get it done and get your ass over the finish line? Or are you choosing the pain of living with the fact that you know that you came up short and you didn't win and you didn't show up in that moment? Because they both hurt. You just got to choose your hurt. And the Chiefs chose their effing hurt time and time and time again. And that hurt is doing what it takes to win every single time. I will never doubt this team, and I will never call it luck. championship swagger and championships don't happen because of luck. It's too hard to win in the NFL. It's too hard to win football games. There's too many good athletes out there. There's too many good players. Luck has nothing to do with execution. And they executed against the Denver Broncos. They saw that Alex Forsythe was a floppity fish out there who was basically on roller skates and just sit there, just did a squat and got pushed over, right? They identified the weak link in the Denver Broncos operation, and they sent 3 stout, strong, fast mother effers through there to block the kick, and they just flooded the hole. It's like, did you ever play like I don't know, like Age of Empires or StarCraft or any video game? What do? You make one hole in the other team's defenses, and then you pour all your soldiers into that one hole.
Yeah.
Right? And you invade them. That's what the Chiefs did. They're like, oh, look, this wall right here is super weak. This, like, the rest of this wall is made out of 30-foot thick stone, and it's 1,000 feet tall, and it's defended by White Walkers and da-da-da-da-da. But this one section of the wall is built out of Jello. And we're just going to go.
And that's Forsythe. He's the Jello.
Yeah, Alex
He's
Forsythe
the Jello mold.
is the Jello mold that they patched the wall with. They were like, oh, we got a hole. We're out of rock. We're out of stone. We're out of ice. We're out of fire. We're out of spikes. We're out of everything that we could possibly make a wall out of. What are we going to use? Oh, we got some Jello. Okay, let's just patch it up with Jello and hope for the best.
So I'm just curious when the ball's going to be on the other side and when it's like, all right, this is what's going to happen, because I don't want that to be the case when it's, I don't know, Super Bowl, and then it ends up going the wrong way as expected. Because I every single game now when I'm watching the Chiefs, I don't expect them to lose. I have not expected them to lose in some time. I always thought they were going to win the game no matter what.
Against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in overtime,
I knew they were going to win then.
The second that they lost that coin flip, Baker Mayfield knew they were going to win.
The sigh.
You saw the sigh. You saw him look up to the sky like effing kill me now, because he knew
he wasn't getting the football back.
That he wasn't getting the football back. That you give Patrick Mahomes the ball in overtime, he's going to score a touchdown. The Chiefs are going to win the game because they've been in those moments and they execute. And so, sure, is there going to be a time at some point where the Chiefs come up short? I'm sure there will be. I hope it's not in the playoffs, and I hope it's not in the Super Bowl.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen this season. It just won't.
But it's not going to be because of luck when it happens. When they win it, it's not going to be because of luck. And when they lose, it's not going to be because of luck. It's not going to be because a ball bounced the wrong way. It's because they didn't play as good as they could have, or they didn't execute in the moment when they needed to. But as long as they execute when they have to, they're going to continue to win these close situations because they execute better in these close situations than anybody else.
Shoot, I guess, but man, it just seems like I'm curious this upcoming week against Buffalo, how they're going to pull it out of the rabbit out of the hat then. So they're going to find some clever way in order to get the job done. And what if it was just like how it was a blocked field goal attempt? Because did you truly think they were going to block that field goal before it happened?
Hell no. I thought the game was over, but
see, same. And it's like, I just can't
have to believe it
out no matter what.
I didn't have to believe it because they believed it. That's the thing. It doesn't matter what I think or what you think. True. All that matters is what the players on the field think and what the players on the field do for the outcome. And then the rest of us jackasses over here who do this for a job just get to sit here and just talk like we know what the F we're talking about for an hour and hang out with our best friend Kramer Sansone. And just like, honest to God, I mean, I know we've been talking about Chiefs football, but I just want to say you look great. And this whole entire podcast is just a way for me to talk to you every single week. So
I appreciate that, Rocky.
But yeah, no, I mean, the Chiefs are who we knew they are, and they'll continue to be that way. And listen,
they're not going to lose. They're just not going to lose.
I said it in my 5 things we learned this week article over at Arrowhead Pride. Go over and check it out. I said, I compared it to my grandpa's old work truck that he like beat to hell and back, and the seats were torn. The bench seat was torn up on it. It's got dents from where I backed into something, with it out on the farm, and it's got rust, and it's got buckets of paint splashed against the side, and one of the windows no longer rolls down because the handle broke off. It's got a 3 on the tree manual transmission, and he look at it, and you would just see him with lust in his eyes over that truck, right? 250,000 miles on it. And it's like, she ain't perfect, but imperfection never looked so good. And that's this Chiefs team. They're not perfect, but imperfection never looks so good.
It's true.
Just keep backing that ass up over here and just keep on trucking, baby, because I'm here for the ride. And that's how I feel about it.
It's just at some point in time, it's just going to run out. It's going to run out. It's not going to be in the. It's
maybe someday when Patrick Mahomes is 45 and Andy Reid is 112.
Exactly. It's not going to happen anytime soon. Like I'm just going to be sitting back and enjoying the ride. I'm just.
I know you're sad that your best friend Aaron Rodgers is really having a tough time this year.
And he's happy about something right now. And it's not football.
Yeah, I mean his mentor RFK is going to give everybody in America brainworms. So there we go.
Guess whatever works.
You don't like having fluoride in your water, because apparently that's going out. That's out of the way out.
I'm not even sure what you've been talking about, man. I don't stick. I'm not. My head is not in that realm.
Yeah, no. I honestly, God, I
put worms in the drinks.
No. I don't. No, RFK has brainworms apparently.
Oh boy.
No, but he said that he's going to remove fluoride from all the drinking water in America.
Right. Good. Right.
Which it's not my hill to die on.
Is that good? Is that bad?
Well, they say that you need to have fluoride in your water if you're a kid. Because
purified water, does that matter?
Well, no. So, you're supposed to use fluoride toothpaste if you're not drinking tap water, because the tap water has fluoride in it. But I mean, 90% of toothpaste on the market has fluoride in it, unless marked no fluoride. So, I mean,
that's
and it's really only for kids who have baby teeth. So it's really just like, I mean, it's people making a mountain out of a molehill. And I'm sure there's gonna be people in the comments that say, listen, fluoride's poison, or you don't know the true benefits of fluoride. I'm not here to be a fluoride champion or a fluoride naysayer. And I'm kind of regretting that I even brought this up on the podcast. But
hey, and I'm gonna ask questions if you bring something up. You already know that.
Now, here we are. Okay, so here we are for the next 60 minutes, Kramer. This is a Q&A fluoride.
The pros and cons of fluoride.
This is now a pros and cons of fluoride podcast. So yeah, hit me with all your hardest hitting fluoride questions.
I'm not even sure what the hell fluoride even is.
It is
it's
either a product, a byproduct, a chemical, or a not chemical, manufactured or found naturally on Earth that you put into water.
Okay. I figured it out now.
Yeah, so I'm glad I could answer that. That hereby wraps up our
thank you. I appreciate that.
Questions of fluoride segment that everybody was really like. I mean, I tell you what, like
people are clamoring all over.
The people in the comments section have really just been saying, please, guys, more fluoride talk on Veach season. That's one thing that this shit show is missing, is more fluoride talk. Hey, can you also just if you just squeeze in a little bit of talk about flossing, about the importance of flossing your teeth? And
all right, let's be honest. Do you floss every night? I don't.
Hell no. I'm lucky if I floss like once every couple of weeks or something. Like there's some times where I go to floss and I'm like, when the hell did I eat that garbage? Like it's disgusting.
My gums might be mad, but I go to the dentist. They floss me when I go to the dentist, so that works.
Well, and that's the problem is when I know I'm going to the dentist, I'll start flossing like every day for like a week leading up, and like using mouthwash, because that way I'm like, all right, they're gonna be like, oh wow.
Oh, they know.
These gums look great. Like, you've been flossing, blah, blah, blah. I get in there, they're like, man, your gums are so inflamed. Have you been flossing? I'm like, well, recently, yeah.
You gotta do it like a month in advance, man. You can't do it a week of or the day of. No. It's too late.
I'm like that bridesmaid trying to do like a crash diet like the week before the wedding so I can fit into the dress, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it just completely backfires on me. I go in there and I smile for the dentist. My teeth are just red from blood on my gums. Just like, oh God, Mr. Magaña, please just go find another dentist. You're a health hazard.
Oh,
but yeah, man. So that also wraps up our flossing. conversation. Any other like really hot ticket items that we need to hit on before we move forward to the podcast, Krame?
The agenda. I'm joking.
Oh, yeah, there we go. The Joe Rogan experience. All right. So, well, you know what time it is then, Krame. Now that we've gotten all those shenanigans out of the way, and we've actually talked about football a little bit, it's time to back it on up to where we usually are at the top of the show. And I need to ask you, what's hot with Krame Dog?
Well, Rocky, what's hot with Krame Dog? Let's look at the team that's in the parking lot, the vicinity of the Kansas City Chiefs, and let's talk about some guys that are nominated for something, because Bobby Witt Jr. nominated for the AL MVP. I hope he wins it. I don't know if it's going to happen because of how Aaron Judge's season was, but we'll see how it goes. Matt Catraro, the manager of the Royals, is also named as the AL Manager of the Year. He's also with a couple other guys that's in the Central. And also Seth Lugo, nominee for Cy Young Award winner. I don't think we're going to get any guys a Royal on there, but let's just see what the vote turns out, and hopefully we at least get one. Maybe Matty Q. That's my answer for those guys.
I mean, it's usually, especially the coaching ones, it's never the guy who has the best record who wins the award. It's always like the guy who took the shittiest team and turned them into a good team.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, who qualifies for that more than Matty Q?
AJ Hinch kind of does. That Detroit Tigers team, ridiculous how they played this year. I watch way too much baseball.
Do you think that AJ Hinch is a better coach than Matt Quatraro?
He did take the Astros to a World Series or two, so
This year, did he take him to the World Series this year?
He didn't. Nope, he did not.
What did they do in the playoffs?
The Tigers lost to the Cleveland Guardians in the playoffs.
They sure did.
Yeah, they did. They did. But I would take Matt
Who did the Royals lose to?
Yanks, who won the World. They did not win the World Series. They lost to the Dodgers in the World Series.
But who beat the Cleveland Guardians?
Did the Yankees beat the Guardians?
I think the Yankees beat the Guardians.
Yeah. So you're saying Stephen Vogt should be the manager of the year then, since he made it further than Matty Q?
No, I'm saying that Matty Q's success is better than AJ Hinch's success.
Okay.
Because the team that beat us beat the team that beat him.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. So we're saying so Matty Q is going to win the AL Manager of the Year. That's how we're going to figure this out.
We should raise shit and
I agree.
Just go and where do they make those decisions at? Where do they count the votes?
I'm going to say New York. Yeah, New York seems like the right answer.
We should show up in New York and we should demand a recount. We should say should hold our stop the steal signs. Yeah, stop the steal. We want to recount. Hold the line. Make them recount it. Don't let big baseball pull the wool over your eyes.
God, more and more I look at it, big baseball is actually, about to become a big football at some point, which I think it might be already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
before we get canceled, let's keep it moving.
Yeah, don't get canceled. Let's keep it moving. Let's avoid all political talk because we did just have a presidential election, and I don't want to touch that beehive with a 10-foot pole. To be honest with you, Kramer,
or a 20-foot pole. I'm good.
20-foot pole. Here's what's gonna happen is regardless of who won the election or was going to win the election, I'm probably gonna bitch about what a bad job they're doing because guess what? They always do a bad job.
Oh, I agree.
I have no faith in any U.S. president to do a good job from any party whatsoever. So I'm actually happy that now that the election is over, I can just openly bitch about the sitting president and it'll just be the status quo for me.
But you know what I do have faith in is Chiefs wins on Sundays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Wednesdays, right? Is there a Wednesday game this year? That Christmas Day?
So. Yeah.
And Mondays. Like Chiefs are always going to win. That's what I have faith in.
I have faith the Chiefs win every single game this year. I'm telling you, 17-0 is loading. If they get past the Bills here,
so close, man.
If they get past the Bills here and they hit 10 games, I mean, because you think that the Texans team that got 5 interceptions and couldn't close it out is going to beat the Chiefs?
Super sad.
They were garbage in the second half. Their offense was
that game
horrible.
lasted
Their
forever.
defense was horrible. Oh my gosh! It was like a tale of two halves. It was the wildest game I think I've ever seen. But yeah, And so if the Chiefs get past the Bills this week, 17-0 is loading, my friend. You know what? There is a more important victory to talk about this week other than that, and it has nothing to do with the political elections or any of the votes or the items that were on any of the ballots in any of the states.
And what is it?
So there was a very hard-fought grassroots victory won in the United States of Chiefs Kingdom these last couple of weeks while we were gone. I'll tell you what it is. Kareem Hunt is now an 80 overall.
Yes, let's go.
We did it, baby.
Let's go.
And they tried to hold us down, and we would not take no for an answer. We called, and we badgered, and we bitched and complained. And guess what? We did it. Kareem Hunt is now an 80 overall. And I think that it's only proper that we call them and we tell them thank you for listening.
I agree. This is baffling. I cannot believe this actually happened, Rocky. We spoke, and they listened. They actually listened to us.
We are inevitable, Kramer. When we put our power behind something, and we choose our hard. We chose our hard, and we said, "Listen, we're going to sacrifice, and we're going to call these guys nonstop, and we're going to choose the pain of having to yell at them." But it was worth it because the reward now is so sweet. All right, I'm going to call him right now. I'm going to put it on speaker, and we're just going to say thank you. We'll tell Chad Ocho Cinco, thank you.
Hey, it's Ocho. You reached the Madden Ratings Adjuster hotline. Leave a detailed message telling us who you think should have a higher rating and why. But you better bring us some facts we haven't already considered. Otherwise, don't even bother.
Your message will be recorded. By leaving a message, you grant EA permission to use your message throughout the world, in perpetuity, on its social media platforms and websites, and represent that you are at least 18 years old. You further agree that we may call you back regarding your message.
We did it, baby. This is Rocky Magaña and Kramer Sansone calling you over here at Veach Season, and we just wanted to say thank you for heeding the call and listening to us and making Kareem Hunt an 80 overall. Thank you for doing what is right. Justice and right and good have won the day. Thank you for eating that humble pie and accepting the fact that you were wrong. It takes a big man, Chad Ochocinco, to admit when you're wrong and change the rating. I just have so much more respect for you now that you've done that, and that Kareem Hunt has a rating that reflects his ability and his talents and his production on the football field. And I also just want to say I'm really, really sorry that nobody ever brings you up on stage for help on So You Think You're Smarter Than a Celebrity. They chose every other celebrity besides you, and you never actually think that you know the answers to things. But you also really get the answers wrong a lot, so that's probably why. But I'm pulling for you, big guy. Anyway, thanks again for 80 overall for Kareem Hunt. Love you, man. Crushed it.
I guess somebody's been watching Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity?
Well, it's like the only way that I can get my wife to watch something that has Travis Kelce in it. I'm like,
okay.
She loves game shows. I love Travis Kelce.
Gotcha.
Plus, it's also got like Nikki Glazer on there, and she's funny, and so it's
she's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a win all around. Also, side tangent, shocking, I know. My buddy Wes came into town to stay with me after the storm, and we were talking about how this time, it was like 20 years ago, we went and saw Dustin Diamond, otherwise known as Screech from Saved by the Bell, perform stand-up at Sanford & Sons over there in Overland Park. And I had totally forgotten. But at the time, his opening act was Nikki Glazer.
What?
Because she was going to KU at the time. And she performed like songs with an acoustic guitar. And I didn't believe him, but we like looked up her old set like online and we found it. And yeah, she opened for Dustin Diamond aka Screech
That's
from Saved by the Bell at Sanford and Sons like 20 years ago.
fantastic. That's awesome.
Yeah. And we saw her perform. She was funny. I remember laughing. I remember thinking she was funny. But yeah, so it's pretty wild how the different trajectory their two careers
Yeah, that's very true.
at that point.
Yeah.
Shocking. Dustin Diamond wasn't funny and stand up. His routine was horrible, and he just did a bunch of like cheesy Saved by the Bell jokes, which I guess is what everybody went there to see, but they were like not good Saved by the Bell jokes.
Oh,
So like you gotta like if you're gonna lean on that, you gotta like crush it, right?
you know what's wild? I can actually envision Nikki Glazer's face in my mind, but not the other dude because of the differences.
Is the fact that she's a girl?
No, it's I never watched Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah, because you're too young. You're
Yeah.
not old. You're not old as balls like I am.
No, you're not old as balls.
I mean, I'm pretty old.
I
as
just
balls.
turned 28 actually, so I am getting old.
Oh wow. You're 28. Oh, you're so old. You're so
My body feels it, man.
old. Jeez Louise. Like I remember buying Tecmo Bowl when it came out for sale, brand new.
That's pretty sweet, actually.
For like my birthday, like when I was a kid. Like that's how old I am. I remember when Tecmo Super Bowl came out, and it was like such a huge jump up because you could set rosters,
Dude.
and you could trade players from team to team, and it was like the most revolutionary thing ever.
The first Madden 03 with Marshall Falk on the cover, man. So that your Tecmo experience, that walked so that one could run.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because Tecmo Super Bowl was on the Tecmo Super Bowl 3 was on the SNES.
Mhm.
And if you were old enough to remember this game, you'll know that it is probably hands down the greatest, most ahead of its time video game of all time, because they had a combine for rookies before the draft, and you would create a guy and you would run 40-yard dashes and like pump the buttons to make the guy go faster. And how you performed at the combine was how good the rookie guy was in the draft.
That's actually pretty sweet.
And then that went into the draft, and then you would draft the player and like set his name and everything. And so
that's ahead of its time.
That was hardcore ahead of its time. There was and I was like, I remember
They barely want to do that now, the new one.
Yeah, I was hammering those buttons in the 40-yard dash trying to get the guy's speed up. It was a hell of a game. God, I missed that game. I need to find that game online and play it.
There's an updated N64 coming out. That's actually games gonna be 4K.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Can't wait to play GoldenEye on that.
Oh, that'd be pretty. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
like literally, if you're gonna play like N64, like there's like 3 games that you're gonna play. You're gonna play NFL Blitz. You're gonna play NBA Jam.
You have to play NBA Jam.
You're gonna play GoldenEye. You're gonna play Mario Kart, and
that's all you really need.
Is that it?
Got your football. You got your racing. You got your
maybe Street Fighter 2.
Yeah,
no, I had Street Fighter 2 on the SNES, so that was out even before it. So not even Street Fighter 2.
You could do Mortal Kombat. Was Mortal Kombat on there?
No, that was SNES as well, and Sega. That was Genesis.
That is, yeah.
So yeah, no, really. I mean, I'm sure they had a Mortal Kombat on the N64, but it wasn't like a defining.
Yeah, it wasn't a good one,
right? You know, like when I think of that, I think, NHL hockey was pretty effing dope.
You got to get 94 and NHL 94. Yeah,
NHL 94 on the N64 was awesome. I think I had 98 also. 98 was really good on the N64. I remember playing a lot of that. Jaromir Jagr was the tits on that game. Like he was unstoppable. So I mean, that's awesome because that is like my high school years is N64. You know, I had and then
coming up 250.
Can't wait. I know what Daddy's asking for Christmas. I don't need a PS4. I don't need to be one of these online streaming gamers. No, just give me a revamped N64.
Come play Call of Duty with me, Rocky. Come on.
I can relive my heyday. Man, it's rough out there for old Rocky boy at Call of Duty. It's been too long since I played. These kids got their quick twitch fingers, you know, like Like, I can't help the fact that every 12-year-old in the world has fingers like Tyreek Hill. Like Tyreek Hill runs with the football. Like, that's how fast their fingers are.
I've ran into so many of them, these fast twitch finger people. It's annoying. I'm holding my own, though. So that's all that matters.
Whatever happened to, like, I just want to, like, look around the map, see what's going on. Oh, look, there's a bad guy. Let me aim my gun, pull my sights up, take a second to shoot. No.
That's Battlefield. That's not Call of Duty.
No, you're going to get stabbed in the back of the neck with a knife if you try to do that. Or some guy's going to show up. You know what my gripe with Call of Duty is? Actually, if I'm going to grind my gears for a second, the reason why GoldenEye is a superior shooter game to Call of Duty, and the original Halo is also a superior game to Call of Duty, is that in Call of Duty, when you play online, your weapons packages and the weapons that are available to you are based upon your score and your rating and like leveling up, right? And so like if you're a new guy starting out, you're going to come across some dude with like an alien whipsaw gun that shoots chainsaws and infects your body with a virus that makes your head explode if it gets within 5 feet of you. Meanwhile, you're sitting there with like a 9mm Glock, like trying to shoot at him. And it's like the fact that it's so unbalanced out of the gate makes it less fun to start out, as opposed to like GoldenEye and Halo. You would set the weapons and you would set the guns for everybody on the map ahead of time, and everybody had the same weapons.
So what Call of Duty did to combat that, the gun that's the best gun in the game is the first one that starts off with the AR, the XM4. That thing's literally the nastiest gun. That's the first the gun they give you. So they kind of helped change that. So Rocky, your arguments are invalid now. They're helping you.
Oh, are they invalid now? Because can I be odd job in that one? Can I be a little? He's a 3.5 foot tall little person who's a bad guy in James Bond who runs around and you shoot people in the knees when you're him. You just get them.
If that was a kill streak, that'd be pretty sweet. That would be awesome.
No, it's great. It's awesome because he's hard to shoot because he's like so small and you can like hide in corners and it's like crouching, but you're just running around normal. But the problem is every time he gets hit, it's a headshot because of where his head is on the screen. And so you really are like it's a little bit of a give and take if you play with him.
I'm sure it sounds like it.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm gonna have to go sit there and ignore my family for the next week and a half and just play GoldenEye nonstop. Kramer,
I'm bad, man.
It's the best. It's the greatest game that was ever invented. Such a good game. Like kids these days. Like I know that there's gonna be some kid out there who like tries to play GoldenEye now and he's like, oh, that game is so lame compared to Fortnite and blah 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 and Roblox and yeah. No, I don't care what you say. I'm like my dad's generation talking about how good Springsteen was, right? like, oh, you don't know music if you don't like the boss. Like that's how I feel. And like old man Magaña over here talking about how great GoldenEye is. But if you don't know how great GoldenEye is, then you don't know video games. I'm like one of those guys in the comment section that tells people they don't know ball whenever they disagree with them. Like, you know, those guys that every time they say something, I'm like, oh, well, you don't know ball. Yeah, you don't know first person shoot 'em if you don't know GoldenEye.
All right, I guess I don't know first person shooter then.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of things that are great, 5-star reviews. We don't have any this week, people, and we need more of them.
Come on, people.
It really helps us, gain traction and get our message out there and get this awesome product out to the masses like it should be. And so if you want to see us take Pat McAfee's job someday and just do nothing but talk about the Chiefs instead of all the teams, then
we'll actually legitimately talk about America's team.
Yeah, legitimately talk about America's team. Then you should probably give us some 5-star reviews. And as a friendly reminder, whenever you leave a 5-star review, it gets read live here on the air. And whatever you write down, we will read live on the air.
Verbatim.
Doesn't matter what it is. Verbatim. no matter how offensive or stupid it is, we will read it verbatim. Now, if you say certain words, we may bleep them out because
Yeah.
there's certain words that even Kramer in his long storied Confederate history
Okay.
even refuses to say. I'm joking. Kramer Sansone is not
apparently
a
the right
Confederate
person
soldier
won.
reincarnated. He is. Yeah, I bet you were really happy with this election.
Oh,
weren't
shooting
you,
fireworks
Kramer?
off all night.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you weren't shooting off fireworks, you were shooting off your gun. You had your gun just shooting your shotguns in the
Root
air.
tooting and
Just
shooting.
reloading, just double cock, double barrel. You and old Bertha out back shooting your double barrel shotguns.
Oh, Bertha.
Yeah. Does your fiance know how Confederate you are?
Oh, she's converted me.
She's one of the converted. She was the one.
Yeah.
Wow. I somehow doubt that. Your fiance is pro the Confederacy.
Oh, dude, you be shocked. This household's different, man.
Yeah, it's like that Dave Chappelle episode of was it Harold T. Biggins? Yeah, Harold T. Bigsby. Yeah, the blind KKK member. Is that what it is?
Clayton,
Yeah, okay.
Clayton Bigsby.
Old Clayton Bigsby. That was a
That's man. That can't get made today, can it? It's still a great skit.
There's no chance that gets made today, and it is by far one of the greatest comedic sketches ever made. And if you haven't seen it,
man, you're the best.
You should go watch it. It's from the Chappelle Show. Dave Chappelle plays a blind KKK member,
a high-ranking one to be exact.
A high-ranking, blind KKK member who doesn't know that he's black.
He left his wife because I know.
Yeah. You know why? Hey, Kramer, why did he leave? Why did he leave his wife?
I ain't gonna say.
No,
it's for you to find out.
Why did he leave his wife, Kramer?
Because she was blind too. Duh.
Yeah, duh. Oh, if you haven't watched it, then if you know, then you know. That's what I'll say.
There
if
we go.
Then you know. Speaking of people saying things that they shouldn't have said, our old boy Jason Kelce got in a little bit of hot water while we were gone. So he was on the was it Penn State campus, I believe.
Yes.
For College Game Day. He was walking through the crowd. Some guy comes up to him and basically holds a cell phone in his face and says, how does it make you feel to know that your brother is a derogatory term used towards homosexuals, and because he's dating Taylor Swift? Which, first of all, the logic doesn't make any sense because he's dating a billionaire pop star. But dude, you're so gay that you date a billionaire pop star who like a lot of people want to bang. God, that's so gay. How dare you? Like, come on. Like the logic does not hold up.
That dude's a dumbass is what he is. Certified dumbass.
That dude is a certified clout chasing dumbass, first of all. Second of all, you shouldn't have used that word, first of all, and in Jason Kelce's face. And this guy was like $180, skin and bones, like college age kid stepping up to a grown ass man who's a retired offensive lineman in the NFL. Like, he's lucky that Jason Kelce's worth a ton of money.
Him up and throw him 50 yards.
Yeah, like we're not talking about catching hands here. We're talking about like literally getting his spine broken because he gets power bombed on the pavement.
He gets spiked.
Yeah, right. And so, but Jason Kelce did spike his cell phone, took his cell phone out of his hand, spiked it on the ground, threw it, kept walking. The guy tried to run up and get his cell phone back. Jason Kelce ran over, got the phone first, picked it up, confronted the kid, and said, who is the derogatory word now? Jason, I get where you're coming from. You probably shouldn't have said it, but I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to like roast him, and I'm not going to be like, oh, he should be ashamed of himself, blah, 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 blah. Should you ever use that word? No, I don't support using that word. I'm an ally through and through to I love people. I love everybody. I don't care who you love, who you worship, yada, yada, yada. I support everybody. I love everybody. And I don't believe in using derogatory words about people. I also think a lot of people are snowflakes and get way too offended in this world.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And somebody talks shit on my little brother, I'm gonna block. I may black out for a second, right? You know, because that's my little brother and that's my family, and family comes first. And so should he? And he apologized for it. He owned it. He basically said the same thing. Like, listen, I shouldn't have said what I said. Like there's no room for that kind of hate in the world. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be associated with those hateful words. Good on him for saying that. Also, you don't really have to apologize because everybody gets that you were defending your brother. And when you're defending family, I mean, it's a whole other story. And so, yeah, sure. I don't support the words you said, but I support the sentiment of you defending your family 100%. And so, listen, somebody talks about
the kid, the college kid. He's a clown. Like,
yeah,
come on. Can we act better? Can we at least give some sort of consequences to him? Because I feel like all the finger pointing or the bad stuff is going to Jason right now. It's like this guy literally enabled Jason. Like he was 100%. The one that was antagonizing, yet he had nothing. He has no repercussions. There's nothing to be like, okay, oh, he's going to probably end up doing it again because there was no consequences you really served. Well, because your $1,000 phone got broken. Come on.
That kid probably sold that phone to TMZ for $2,000.
Yeah. No, I mean, somebody would buy that.
Like, honestly. And so, yeah, I mean, that kid's going to end up making money off of this whole situation, which is the sad thing about it. Yeah, it's disgusting. You're disgusting, Penn State kid.
You're scum.
You scum, you troll. You effing troll. Go study something.
I hate people like that guy. Like I'm known saying like I don't like most people, which I don't. I talk to you. That's good. That means we're friends. We're acquaintances. But it's like people like this. This is why I don't like people. Yeah, is that bad to say?
No, and it's also why famous people don't trust people who come up and talk to them.
That's fair.
It's why famous people don't want to stop and give autographs. It's why when Taylor Swift was walking into the stadium the other day, her security guards had to tell all the photographers to stand up because they were all squatting down and trying to take like upward angled photographs, which I'm sure they all had fine intentions. They were trying to get a good photo of Taylor Swift walking into the game. But all it takes is one creeper trying to get like a creepy upskirt shot, and he sells it on TMZ for way more money than he'll ever make for anything else. And he's doing it by just trying to be a creepy scumbag. You know what I mean? And so, of course, her security guards like get the F up. Like, what the F are you doing? You know, the world is just full of too many scumbags trying to ruin things for people. Mm-hmm. And listen, good people deserve all the good things in the world. But if you're a jackass scumbag, then kick rocks, bro. Like, I don't feel bad for you. And I'm not going to sit here and try to defend your worthwhileness, ever. So anyway, that being said, shifting a little bit gears for a second, I do want to take a moment to talk about a couple of things that are pretty serious and close to my heart. So this past week on Friday night, one of my dearest friends, so for the last 20 some years, I've been very close friends with a woman named Diane Linhart. Her daughter is one of my best friends. Then her daughter married my high school best friend. And so in many ways, she's very much like family to me. Never met a larger Chiefs fan on the face of the planet. Never met a sweeter person. Never met somebody she was the biggest champion for your personal success. She celebrated everything good about every single person she ever met. And she never wanted anything but good for every person she ever came in contact with. And she's the most beautiful soul I've ever met in my entire life. And she passed away on Friday night. And I just want to send my thoughts and prayers and to Wes and Kayla and the whole Linhart family and Brent and Aaron and Hal, everybody. We love Diane so much. And Diane, we miss you so much. And I know for a fact that people want to try to call that field goal block a fluke. I know Diane was back there pushing their asses forward in spirit, making that shit happen. So So thanks for the boost, Diane. We love you and we miss you, and we know that you're going to be on the rest of this ride with us in spirit. So yeah, just want to take a moment, give a shout out to my friend. That also being said, piggybacking on this from one serious moment to another serious moment, Chiefs running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire appeared on the Pivot podcast this week, Krame, and I had a chance to watch it this week. And I'll tell you what, if you haven't watched it yet, guys, you got to go out there and listen to this episode of the Pivot with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He breaks down his PTSD, everything he's been going through since college, and it is eye-opening, and it is heart-wrenching, and it affected me listening to it. For those of you that don't know Clyde Edwards-Helaire's story, he in college. So growing up, his stepdad was basically his father, who raised him, was a police officer. He got his concealed carry license pretty early in his life, like when he was in college. But his stepdad had him trained with the Baton Rouge SWAT team, so he was very responsible, very proficient with handling a firearm during his time at LSU. While he was at LSU, his best friend and roommate had a PlayStation he was going to sell online. He went to go meet somebody, and he was going to a part of town that Clyde Edwards-Helaire was from, and that his roommate wasn't. So knowing that he knew the neighborhood better, Clyde decided to go with him. During the process of selling the PlayStation, the guy who showed up to buy it off of him pulled a gun on his best friend and put the gun to his best friend's head, and Clyde thought that it was the last second he was ever going to see his best friend again. Like the guy was going to kill his best friend. So choosing his best friend's life over the guy who had the gun to his best friend's head, Clyde pulled his own weapon that he had a license for, and shot and killed the guy who was going to kill his best friend. He was immediately taken into custody by the police, and during the investigation, he was put in a jail cell. He was locked in there for a couple of days, and then when they finally let him out, they took him to a hotel room on the LSU campus where him and his friend were locked in the room with no cell phones for 3 days while the police completed their investigation with the windows screwed shut so they couldn't leave. And it was all over the news. He did what he had to do in the situation, but it's affected him every day since then, as it had to have. Like of course it affects him every day since then. He goes into great detail talking about how the PTSD affects him emotionally and physically, to the point that he has involuntary vomiting episodes. And this isn't a new thing this year. Like, he's been on the NFI list for his PTSD this year, but this isn't a new thing. This has been happening since college. But this year it came to a head where he was vomiting so much that he had to be hospitalized, which has also happened multiple times throughout his career. He says that he's been hospitalized for vomiting, and that he would be hospitalized for vomiting, and then on Monday go into the facility for practice like nothing ever happened. Right? Like, he's been like dealing with this, like, even while he's playing for the Chiefs and winning Super Bowls, and basically saying that like being on the football field is his only escape from like his mental battles that he's currently going through. And he to the point where, though, this training camp, he had such a bad vomiting bout that he dropped down to 185 pounds and had to be hospitalized. It was at that point that
he's like he's usually a 220 guy.
Yeah, like a 220 guy. So like he basically 40 pounds, like lost 40 pounds from these like involuntary like vomit attacks from his PTSD and just the anxiety of it all, and just living with the aftermath of a situation that he didn't ask to be in, that he was just trying to make sure that his friend went home safe, and he saved his friend's life that day. And that's who Clyde Edwards-Helaire is. Like so basically all this is to say that when you take that into account, and then also with the fact that when there was the shooting at the parade last year, that when everybody was trying to rush the Chiefs players inside to safety, he went the opposite direction because he saw a child who was frozen and didn't know what to do. And he went and grabbed that kid and took him to safety. And then when he got the kid inside, he asked him who he was here with, who was at the parade with, and he said his dad. And then Clyde went back out to find his dad while this shooting is going on and nobody knows what's going on. And in the podcast, he says, I didn't care about my own well-being in that moment because my job was to make sure that kid got to go home with his dad that day. And that is a hero.
Yep.
Right there. So you ever wonder, why are the Chiefs keeping Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the NFI list and still keeping him on this roster? Why are they hanging with him through all of this? And why, even though he's not playing and helping the team on the field right now? The answer is because the Chiefs treat their players like humans and not like commodities, like a lot of other teams do. I firmly believe that Clark Hunt never wants to have another Javon Belcher on his hands for as long as he lives. He saw that. He was there, saw it with his own eyes when Javon Belcher took his own life in the parking lot because a player did not have access to the resources that he needed. Clyde Edwards-Helaire even says so in the podcast, that there's not another team in the NFL who treats their players the way the Chiefs do, in the sense that would give a player the time that they need to be on the 53-man roster while seeking treatment and taking care of themselves and going to therapy and seeing doctors. And he said that Andy Reid basically told him, he's like, listen, you're in the NFL right now. You have every doctor in the world at your disposal. Use it to get healthy, use it to get better, and then come back and play football for us. And he said he's ready to go now. He said that he's been through a long road. He's been putting in the work. And he said that he's ready whenever they call up his number, that he's ready to rock and roll. But it's an awesome episode of The Pivot. If you haven't watched it, I strongly encourage everybody to go check it out.
Whenever he does start, or not start, whenever he's back in, suiting up, anytime touchdown bet, I'm sprinkling it on there.
100%.
Oh, 100%. Why not?
Anytime touchdown bet, you know that they're going to feed his ass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what he said. He goes, and they even mentioned that in the podcast. They're like people talk a lot about like mental health and like how it like affects people and it gets a stigma and everything like that. I think it's Channing Crowder goes, yeah, but you were trustworthy enough for Andy Reid to give you 22 touches in the Super Bowl. And he goes, yep, that's exactly right. Yep. You know, so anytime that there's any kind of stigma around, there's a lot of stigma around mental health and people getting the help that they deserve. And there shouldn't be, because they're still the same people that you've always known, still the same people that you love. They're taking care of their bodies, you know, right? Like if you hurt your ankle, you're going to get the treatment and fix your ankle. If you hurt your heart, you hurt your soul, hurt your mind, you need to get the treatment to get it fixed. And with that, it puts a lot of things in perspective that essentially Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been playing injured his entire career, right? Like we've never seen a healthy Clyde Edwards-Helaire, on the field. So we don't even know what that looks like for him as a player, you know? And so I don't even know if he knows what that looks like, but I don't know. I'm excited to see it. I believe in him. He's only 25 years old.
He's still young.
He's still young. He's still got time ahead of him. And the Chiefs love him as a player and love him as a person. He's the best teammate. That's the thing that everybody always says about him. They love him. They think he's the best teammate in the world. And so we're pulling for you, Clyde. We love you. Big fans over here at Veach Season, bro.
Amen to that.
Also, other players who might be returning soon. Andy Reid said that Pacheco, Juju, and Amenahue are all very close to returning.
Alrighty then.
So
there's only two people I'm actually I'm excited to see. One of them's Amenahue, because of course that defense is looking great already. Might as well add him to the piece. And Pacheco, like once Pacheco, I know I didn't say Juju, but I don't think the Chiefs need Juju, if you know what I mean, because of just how good that team is already.
Yeah, but Juju and D-Hop on the field at the same time is going to be nice.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. That is going to be sweet, but it's Pacheco. Like you got your guy back. You got your guy that's going to run through 3 brick walls and get back up and run through that 4th.
Yeah, just Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. Like Just,
A
I mean, it just
1-2 punch.
gives you a 1-2 punch right there.
So who's the
You
running
know.
backs? Who are the running backs when old Pacheco's there? Who's the 3 running backs the Chiefs are going to roll with?
Well, I think it's
Top of your
going
head
to
right
be
now.
top of my head right now. It's going to be Hunt, Pacheco, and P. Ryan.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, I mean, Clyde's technically on the 53, so they can play him at any point in time they want.
It's true.
So,
Exciting times right now.
it's
Chiefs
exciting
fans.
times. I'm mostly excited for when Amenahue comes back. The third down rush package is going to be Karlaftis, Jones, Amenahue, and Uche.
That's nasty.
Yeah, that's nasty. That's nasty.
3-peat.
Yeah,
3-peat.
baby. It's loading. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Good news is also Wanya Morris is expected to be okay. It's not supposed to be a long-term knee injury, which is good because let's just take a moment, Kramer.
Okay.
Let's congratulate ourselves. It turns out we know football. Our pre-draft assessment of Kingsley Suamataia was that he needed a red shirt season and he was not going to be ready to play meaningful snaps in the NFL at any point this year, and that he had a lot of upside, but he was a developmental project.
It's shown.
Boom. If that's not what we saw on Sunday, then I don't know what is, because he was a turnstile saloon door. I mean, he literally
so slow. He was so slow.
He made Alex Forsyth look like Trent Williams.
Oh, yeah, that's the way to put it. Yeah,
that's the way to put it right there. Like, he was worse than Jello. He was air.
Because Pat was running for his life the entire game.
I
It's
mean,
because of that reason.
And that's why, if all the people give Pat criticism on missing 2 throws this game, like for that one to Worthy and that one to Kelsey, it's like the dude literally didn't have a left tackle. Like, he was playing with 4 offensive linemen, essentially.
There was a guy breathing down his neck every single time. He felt the hot breath from the defensive line from the Broncos.
He legitimately played out of his mind considering the situation. And so
they won. That's all that matters.
It's all that matters. They win. Hopefully Wanya is able to play this week. If not, there was 2 veteran left tackles also who said that they might want to come and play for the Chiefs.
Who would want to come play for a 9-0 team now?
Who would ever? Who wants to try to get a Super Bowl? How dare they try to bandwagon jump and get a Super Bowl ring now? No, please come in bandwagon jump and get a Super Bowl ring at any point in time. Donovan Smith replied to a tweet by Jeff Allen where he basically said, you need to come and play for the Chiefs. And he said, did the emoji of the guy like rubbing his hands together, like, oh, yeah, like that one. And then David Bakhtiari took it upon himself to tweet at Patrick Mahomes and say, hey, if your Texas Tech Red Raiders beat my Colorado Buffaloes this week, I'll come and play left tackle for you. Now, obviously, Buffalo won, but you just don't throw that out there if you're not interested, right? Like that's like a girl saying, like, oh, hey, if you want to hang out, call me, but only if this happens. Like if she's gonna say call me, then that means that she wants you to call him.
Of course. And of course, I mean, David Bakhtiari, him being a free agent still, I'm curious how his knees are, but man, that'd be stupid. That'd just be
don't need him for 20 games. We only need him for 10.
I know. It's so stupid how that could be the change. Like, that's the guy. That's literally I've been saying Bakhtiari since this offseason. I think it just makes sense, but do they have the money? I think he takes a pay cut to come get a ring. I honestly believe that.
At this point, anybody that's going to sign is going to probably sign for a vet minimum deal.
Yeah, this late in the season. We're going into week 10.
Yeah, they're going to sign for a vet minimum deal, which is paid on a weekly paycheck. So what we're talking, $600,000, right?
Yeah.
Listen, would you take $600,000 to go win a Super Bowl ring?
Yes, I'd take $600,000 now just to shine some shoes. I'd be cool with that.
Listen, I mean, you could do a lot of things to me for $600,000.
Yep.
Yeah. And let's face it, they can't start. If Wanya can't go, like if that knee swells up and stiffens up, they can't play Kingsley at left tackle. They better put Thuney out there and put Caliendo at guard, or bring up Niang, because like if they try to put Kingsley out there against Gregory Rousseau and AJ Espinosa, the edge rushers for Buffalo, they are going to eat his ass alive. They're going to eat his ass like he's Stormy Daniels on a free video stream on the internet. Like that's the level of getting his ass eaten that he's gonna experience.
Is Ethan Driscoll still out on the Big Dick? Ethan Driscoll still out on the practice squad?
Yeah, he is. He was inactive this week.
He was what?
I think it was a healthy scratch.
It's a healthy scratch. I want to see Ethan Driscoll. I want to see Big Dick Ethan Driscoll out there. I need to see that. I need to see that dude's so massive. I want to see him for a series, and then rotate in Wanye. Like just rotate your left tackles. Let's see what happens.
I just want to see somebody out there
if Wanye can actually play.
Yeah, other than Kingsley.
Yeah,
like if we see Kingsley out there, then it's going to be a long night. For
Ethan Driscoll's what 6'10", 400 pounds. Like this dude is he's not 6'10" or 400 pounds. That's me doing my WWE weight stuff. He's 6'9". He's like 330, 340, 350.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that being said, also Killer Trav tied Tony G for most touchdowns in Chiefs history.
Oh, that Falcon.
Yeah, that old boy. Yeah, Falcon. Yeah,
that Falcon.
Yeah. Travis Kelce tied Falcons great Tony Gonzalez for most touchdowns in Chiefs history.
Change that headline up, baby.
Yeah, it's Travis Kelce's record. He's gonna get another touchdown, and it'll just be his flat out.
Please just bury. Anytime you can bury Tony G, just get the shovel out. Start.
In another timeline, I said this on the postgame show yesterday. Actually, there was years ago. I was meeting friends for dinner in December down on the plaza, and I was looking for parking, and Tony Gonzalez, it was a Saturday night right before the game, and Tony Gonzalez was walking across the parking lot to his car from his apartment he had down there.
Yeah.
And he literally just walked out right in front of my car, and I slammed on the brakes, and it was icy, and my car slid, and I literally stopped like inches away from Tony Gonzalez. Like the bumper of my car almost took out Tony Gonzalez's knees on the plaza, and this is like him in his prime in Kansas City.
Yeah, different timeline. Man,
like, this is like when he was like trying to go play in the NBA at the same time, like Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Completely different timeline. If I would have been, like I said this also on the postgame show yesterday, I would have been Will Ferrell and the other guys when I shot Derek Jeter on accident. And they would have been like,
Clipper?
Yeah, how dare you shoot that Mexican, that Mexican angel, Tony Gonzalez. I wish it would have been you. Yeah, you should have shot Jonathan Hayes or Dunn.
You'd be the Chief Clipper.
Yeah, been the Chief Clipper. And then also, like around the same timeline, I was leaving a bar with some friends, and across the street, also leaving a bar on the plaza, was Carl Peterson. And he drunkenly stumbled out. He was on the sidewalk and I was driving, and he drunkenly stumbled onto the street, like right in front of my car. And I slammed on the brakes.
Oh my
and
goodness.
nearly hit him.
With you almost hitting Chiefers, boys.
Yeah. And he turned around and put his hands on my hood and stared at me kind of cross-eyed and wobbly. And I was like, and the funny thing about that story was at the time I was working at a hotel near the plaza, and he had come in to the bar at the hotel earlier in that night before I got off work, and I had parked his car, and he tipped me 50 cents. He tipped me 2 quarters.
What?
2 quarters.
What year was this? I'm curious how the inflations worked.
Oh, well, I mean, we're talking 2005.
Oh, that's not right. It's not right.
Something like that. Yes. Give me a 50-cent tip. And I was like, I hate this guy. And then I almost hit him with my car later in the night. Good thing I didn't, though, because they would have been like, oh, he had motive.
Right? That's right. You're right. That's
like, oh, he had motive.
You'd have been
just lock his ass up. Send him down the river. Yeah. That would be I'd be out in Leavenworth to this
How do
day.
you pronounce his last name? No one cares. Just throw him the clink.
No one cares. It's got a squiggly line over the end. It's not from here. Throw him in the pit. Yeah, that's exactly what would have happened.
That's the scary part. Yeah.
Yeah. So cornerback's still an issue for the Chiefs.
Yeah. Think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
They were running 4 safeties.
Yeah, I know.
Not yesterday.
I was actually shocked.
That tells you what they think about their cornerbacks if they're running 4 safeties. It tells you what they think about Joshua Williams if they're starting Najee Johnson, who's also technically a safety.
True.
And then they're running 4 safeties on top of that.
Because Najee was, I'm actually shocked because he was on the injury report this week. I was curious to how they were actually going to utilize him. But no, you're not wrong. I did see a lot of dime look on the Chiefs with the safeties.
Yeah. And so they obviously don't trust their cornerbacks right now.
But they're still getting the job done. Does that matter, though?
Are they getting the job done? Because
they did play
pretty good.
Yeah.
But they kind of didn't get the stop when they needed to on defense.
But they were still smothering him the entire game, so it really didn't look like it mattered.
They were, from the pass rush, but when he was getting the ball off, like even Trent McDuffie had a rough game yesterday.
True.
Like Trent McDuffie struggled with Cortland Sutton's size, for most of the game, which is super, super uncharacteristic of him. But aside from that, like they had a lot of passes that were completed to open wide receivers. Like wide receivers were getting separation against the Chiefs pretty consistently yesterday.
I'm just curious to see now who's going to step up. Because we're late in the season where you're not making a deal. You're not signing anybody off this off free agency. There's nothing there. It's just now you just got to adapt.
Xavier Howard, baby. J.C. Jackson.
Stop. No.
You're gonna tell me that J.C. Jackson is worse than Chris Roland Wallace.
But J.C. Jackson's not going to want to come because he's actually want to get as somewhat of a money. They're not going to get.
He's sitting at home making $0 right now. He's not going to want to try to win a Super Bowl ring.
True.
Get back in the league. You know what's better? You know what's worse than making $600,000 and possibly winning a Super Bowl ring?
But how much
out of the league?
But how much worse would it be for if the Chiefs were to sign, say, like a Xavier Howard or J.C. Jackson? They sign him and just completely does not work out whatsoever. But you get the guy that's just already there. He's still trying to put his time in there and they get those licks in. He actually, what they trusted their rookies to do a couple of seasons ago to win the Super Bowl. Why can't we just have it?
It's just like it was with LaShawn McCoy, and you leave him inactive, or you cut him, or whatever, and it's not like you have a lot invested in the guy.
True. I guess I just don't see go out there and sign. The team's already fine. The team is good as it is right now. I feel like it's just they get the job done, they win, and that's all they need to do. They've been doing this now for the last 3 seasons. It's not like we're blowing the teams out of the water. That's just not this team anymore. Dude, they win by 1 possession games. They've been doing this a lot. They're doing it successfully. I do not see them needing to go out there and get anything else.
I'm not saying that if they don't add a cornerback, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, regardless, yeah.
I'm saying
they don't need it. They're fine.
There's a weakness on the team, and this is how you could fix the weakness. Are they going to?
I would use my weakness. The weakness I think that you need to utilize the most of gaining a bigger trust is your left tackle. Just make sure that is all set.
That's not a weakness.
That's a hole. That's a big hole. Yeah. Get that hole filled first, and then worry about the weakness.
Yeah, the issue also is going to be coming into this game against the Bills is that Buffalo scored 30 points in 7 of their 8 victories this year. The Chiefs are going to have to get some stops, and let's not act like
they will get stops.
They're getting, and Buffalo's getting those points through the air. Like that's the thing. It's like, they have a good running game, but Josh Allen is playing really well this year. There is, however, what?
MVP caliber.
There is, however, 2 weaknesses to his game that I've noticed. One is that he, like most quarterbacks, he doesn't play as well under pressure. He does pretty good against the blitz, but if you get pressure against him, just in general, whether through the blitz or through rushing for, his completion percentage goes down drastically. His average depth of target over doubles to 13.7 yards, and his turnover worthy play percentage from his turnover worthy play percentage when he's kept clean in the pocket is 1.6%. When he's under pressure, it's 7.3%. His average depth of target when he's kept clean is 6.3 yards. It's 13.7 yards when he's under pressure. Basically what that tells you is that when he's under pressure, he chucks the ball deep and he prays, right? So play deep zone against him and then get pressure on him wait for him to chuck the ball, get your interceptions.
Get your four safeties back and you're fine. Like that's what the Chiefs were.
Okay,
hold on. Were the Chiefs preparing for the Bills this past week against the Broncos?
Testing it out. They were testing it out.
I'm being serious here.
I mean, possibly. I mean, and the wide receivers for the Bills are in the same situation the Chiefs are. Like they're without Keon Coleman, they're without Amari Cooper, and Dalton Kincaid is banged up. Like they're rolling with Khalil Shakir and Curtis Samuel.
Oh boy. There's two guys who's got locked down. Maybe is Dawson Knox? Is he on the IR this year again?
No, Dawson Knox is available.
He's available. Okay. There's usually a laundry list of Bills receivers that are usually hurt whenever the Chiefs come around.
And Matt Milano was designated for return to linebacker.
He's actually going to play the Chiefs.
I don't know if he's going to play, but he was designated for return, so they have 3 weeks to bring him back.
He hasn't played against the Chiefs. I don't think he's been healthy for the last 4 meetings, something like that.
I love that. I love that for us because he's a really good football player.
Very good football player.
Well, Kramer, that's about all I got this week. It's only an hour and 11 minutes in, but I guess we can let the people off the hook a good 45 minutes early tonight.
All right, works for me, buddy. As long as they know they got their good fluoride talk in earlier.
Yeah, as long as you got your fluoride and your flossing talk in, then I know that you guys are good to go, guys. Really though, we need some 5-star reviews. I'd really appreciate it. Check out everything we got coming down the pipe in Foolish Club Media, Daily Fix with Ron Hughley, Kramer Sansone is taking your questions over there every single week. We also got Brian B. Shining with his show. Just check it out. Give us rate, review, like, subscribe, all of that. We're just gonna, regardless of whatever you do, we're just gonna keep showing up and putting out these ridiculous episodes because we hope that you enjoy them, but honestly, this is really just for us.
Yes, very much so.
The whole premise of this show is just two buddies hanging out at a bar talking shit. So we just like that you guys come in and listen and hang out with us. So thanks for being Veachies and thanks for rocking with us. As always, find somebody, love on them, be good to each other, and we hope we earn the privilege of your time. Have a great week.